All right, hello and good day and welcome to WEDCOnomics. I am Jack Terrill, Executive Director of Wentworth Economic Development Corporation, and you are about to view another episode, Season 2, I think this is Episode 6 or so, of WEDCOnomics, where we like to talk about small business in the Eastern Lakes region of New Hampshire. Wentworth Economic Development Corporation is here to advise, finance, and promote small business, invest in the small business sector, which is basically all of our business over here in the Eastern Lakes region. And I am thrilled to have as a guest today somebody that we have worked with to actually get to achieve a dream. And let me introduce to you Theresa Tocio. Hi, Theresa.
Hi, Jack.
Theresa is the new owner of Butternuts, which we all are familiar with in downtown Wolfeboro. So, congratulations first and foremost.
Thank you.
On this.
Thank you.
This is really cool.
Very exciting.
I know from WEDCO's point of view, we just love being part of transfer of what I consider to be legacy businesses. And certainly Butternuts has built a reputation for many, many years under the tutelage of Sally Hunter. Really built a great reputation, and I know, Sally and you had talked about the idea. She wanted to step back, retire after many, many years.
16 years.
Yeah, 16 years of Butternuts to build that, which really cool and great business, which a lot of people just love.
It's got its own community.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
So it's critical that the transfer of ownership culturally would befit what Sally Hunter had built there. And
Absolutely.
I think she recognized that, and I think you recognize that. And lo and behold, with a little help from another financial institution, WEDCO was able to play a role in that.
That was huge.
And make it happen. So this was fairly recent, and
July 9th.
How's it going?
It's going fantastic. The community has been incredibly welcoming. Sally has been in a lot, helping us out, showing us the ropes, leading us to the right path to continue her legacy and, expand on what's already there.
So this is not just Theresa Tocio. This is a family affair. You have your husband Jerome involved and your daughter.
My daughter Tiana.
Is this the first time all three of you have worked in an environment together?
It is not. We owned a cafe in Naples, Florida for 21 years, and all three of my children, my husband, myself, my mom, and my father-in-law, and my husband's aunt all worked as a family. And it can be challenging, but patience and forgiveness and communication, you can get through anything.
Well, it's family adds a lot of great things, and it adds some challenges as well.
Right.
I don't know if when you go home to have dinner, you're not having dinner anyway right now, I'm sure.
I'm hoping I can bring dinner home from Butternuts.
I think 80 or 90 hours a week is probably a description for you guys right now.
Right now.
But it'll settle down a little bit eventually. But
we're in high season. It's what you do.
But yeah, you've got to set aside business so you can have conversations just about other stuff. But the benefits of working with family is you have trustworthy employees around you.
Oh, yeah, they're incredible. Yeah, they're very trustworthy. They're great. They've all been there for several years, and they're
the
solid
ones that came
staff.
over from Sally?
Oh, yeah, they're incredible. I mean...
What kind of a difference did that make for you to be able to bring on or keep people that had worked with Sally? How important is that as you went through the process?
It's huge because Kathy, who really knows all the inventory, what needs to be brought in, what's missing. She knows the customers. She's smiling and happy. introducing us to customers. If we were there without Kathy, it would not be the same. She is the face of Butternuts. Sally was up in the kitchen a lot, and she would come down too, but really when you walk through the door, Kathy is the first person that greets you and sees you, and she knows everything. And
High praise, Kathy. I hope you see the show.
She's huge. And Susie up in the kitchen, she knows how to prepare all the salads and the entrees and all the things that are in Sally's recipe books. And she's teaching us. We have Patty, who is summer help. She works at the school, and then she comes in and helps us. And she knows the systems and the register and the scale, and she's a workhorse too. So they're so necessary, and I'm so grateful that they are happy to stay with us because we need them.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that makes a huge difference.
It does.
And in this day and age, it's hard to find help anyway. So
yes, absolutely. Hardworking, honest, leading with gratitude. It's just been incredible.
Leading with gratitude. That's a good one.
Yeah. I even listened. One of the gals said to me, "I love how you thank your husband and your daughter for what they do." And I said, "Well, just because they're family doesn't mean they don't deserve praise. I mean, you have to lead with gratitude. It's important."
That's I think that's a formula that will lead to a lot of success.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not your first venture into a small business environment.
Nope.
You ran a cafe in Naples for 21 years.
Mm-hmm.
Sunburst Cafe.
Sunburst Cafe. Yep.
I spent a lot of time in Naples. I never get. Was it in East Naples or where was it?
No, it's right in the center on the corner of Pine Ridge and Airport Road.
Oh my God, the busiest road in the world.
Right. So we had Publix, Target, and Bell's in our plaza, and so we were very, very busy.
Is Sunburst still there, or is that
It
all
is
gone?
still there. My son is still managing it for the new owners, so it's
Yeah.
going on 26 years.
Yeah.
It's a legacy local business. A lot of the local businesses have been taken over by franchises, so it's pretty incredible that our legacy is still being carried on by the new owners.
So were you able to transfer a lot of the skills and lessons learned in running the Sunburst Cafe into this new venture?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And this was not just the purchase of Butternuts, although that was big, but it was you also had a venture going on called Winnipesaukee Catering.
I do. Yep.
And that continues on, right?
It does continue on.
And that operates out of the Butternuts building?
Correct.
And it did before, and that's how...
Yes, Sally and I had an agreement to use her kitchen because it's a commercial kitchen, but probably transitioning to less personal chef services and on-site and more come pick up your trays of chicken piccata or eggplant parmesan or whatever it is that you're looking for.
So, from my point of view, as somebody who was looking at financing this project, I liked the idea that there was some vertical integration between what Butternuts does and what Winnipesaukee Catering was doing, and you could see how one would feed or support the other.
Absolutely.
And are you finding that to be the case?
Yes, business is booming.
Booming. On the catering side?
Both sides.
Both sides.
Both sides. Mm-hmm.
And that's, that's why I feel very fortunate to even have you here for this episode, because I stopped in the other day just to check it out. You were running errands or whatever, but my word, it was a hopping place.
It's hopping.
Jerome was moving around real fast. So that was fun to see. But yeah, that vertical integration was very attractive. We always like to look at things that are mutually reinforcing to the other activities that go on in the business, and this appeared to be that case. So. It can be intimidating taking on a business that is so associated with one person, Sally Hunter, and the legacy that she's built, and the offerings that they make or had or have. And so, were you intimidated by that? Or
I wasn't intimidated. I was actually honored because she came to us. and we signed a non-disclosure agreement, but she came to us, and we're personal friends, and she said, I'm ready to retire. I want to spend some more time with my partner, and what do you think? Are you ready to take over? And that's a huge honor, because she has a legacy not only with Butternuts, but when she operated the grocery store with her dad. So she is so loved in the community, and the fact that she came to my family and said, what do you think? And we had approached her a few years ago and said, my daughter and I and my husband would really love to run a place like this if you ever think about, retiring. And she did come to us, and we had a good conversation, and she knew that Tiana had incredible experience with retail, working at Van Otis Chocolates, managing that. She
was the manager of Van Otis.
She was the manager of Van Otis Chocolate. She opened the store with the owner, and she, knows retail inside and out, inventory, processes, how to merchandise. Jerome is got a huge customer service background, and he is just great with people. He's got such good personality, and I have the cooking and chef experience, and so she felt the three of us combined could take on her legacy. And to think that the three of us are replacing one person, she worked really, really hard. And it was very important that whoever took over this business carried her legacy. This is her child, her brainchild. Mm-hmm. And that's what we want to do. We want Sally's legacy to continue on. We're going to keep as much of it the same as humanly possible, but add in some of the catering things. Add in a few more food items, but their favorite Centerville pies will be there, her pea salad, her cucumber salad.
Centerville pies will remain there, folks.
Yeah, so, all the known recipes are staying, and then we're adding in more of the food items. And
yeah, I was going to ask you, obviously over time, you just started in a couple weeks ago, really.
Yep.
But I imagine there are things that you will tweak along the way, and things that perhaps might show up in the counter for food offerings.
Like egg salad came in.
Ah!
And I had no idea. My daughter said, Mom, what did you do? I have to make this every day now. I'm like, well, people like it. And my seafood salad.
Like a good
people
egg
love
salad.
That.
The seafood salad?
And the seafood salad.
So those are a couple items
that weren't there.
Yeah.
Sally doesn't care for egg salad. She didn't care for seafood. So, that wasn't in her wheelhouse. So we brought it in, and people love it. It's it's wonderful. And, add a few little items here and there.
So the store also has not only these delicious food items, but it also has like kitchen type items or culinary.
Anything and everything that you need.
For culinary items?
Before we bought the place, I would go in there and drool and say, one of these days I'm going to buy that pot. And, look at these gadgets. This is great. There's things that I didn't even know that existed that we sell in the store. Special asparagus tongs and little nippers for the top of an egg. And, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Glasses, pots, pans, bakeware, anything.
Do you sell a lot of those products?
Oh, yes.
So it's not just the food counter.
No, Sally said it was 75% of the business was the
culinary side?
The cookware, bakeware, the gadgets, the glasses, Fiesta ware, the Crusade, cast iron pans, I call them the gurgling cod. Shreve Crump and Lowe started it, and they did these pictures, and I know I'm not saying it. Gluggle jugs? I can't remember. But it's a pitcher, and you fill it up with whatever beverage you would like, and when you pour it, it makes a gurgling sound.
Oh.
And, we started, when we bought the place, with like 10 of them, and they're gone. People,
you know what? I kind of
it's a
want
learning.
one of those.
I'm kind of learning about all these things that I never knew about. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I imagine you're going to run out of some items just simply because you do not know how fast certain things go.
Right.
And
there's no predicting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are a lot of things that are big favorites.
over time,
Yep.
that will become second nature to you, I'm
Yep.
sure.
Yep. And Sally has said she will be there through thick and thin, no matter what. She's a phone call away, and I tell you, I
That's
call
right.
her, and she's there for me every
That's
minute.
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate.
So, one of the sort of risks or unknowns when you take over a legacy business that's been established and loved in the community is how will the community respond to you, to the Tocios? So what have you seen for a community response?
I have not seen any negative. I was nervous about that. I thought, oh gosh, people are going to say Sally's not here. But people have been incredible. They have been welcoming us with open arms. It's really, again, gratitude. It's awe-inspiring. It's not what I expected. And it's a great feeling.
Yeah, because it's not like your audience is transient. There is some tourists, but there's a lot of loyal customers.
That's right.
And those are the tough nuts. Those are the ones that you gotta make happy.
That's right.
And they're the ones that are gonna look the hardest. And so that's a challenge. It doesn't mean it can't be handled, can't be done.
No, it's we have a lot of people that come in every day for lunch because you can come in and get lunch for under $10.
You
And-
can?
Yes.
Now you're singing my song.
Right. So we have
egg
people
salad?
that right. They come in every day and they get a salad and a baguette and a soda and out the door.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So we have a lot of the local people and all the businesses around town that just come in all the time. It's wonderful. It's like I said, it's not just a business, it's a community. There are people that come in every day and they may not buy anything, but they just want to say hello.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah, it is.
So you said Jerome had a big customer service background?
Oh, yeah. He was a customer service and sales manager of Belmont Springs Water Company for many, many years before we moved to Florida.
Belmont Springs?
Belmont Springs Water Company.
Oh, yeah?
Was bought out a couple of times, and then he ended up getting laid off, and that was kind of the impetus to the big excursion
into
to Florida.
Florida?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
And he worked in the restaurant?
He was front of the he was front of the house at the restaurant. He did a lot of baking. He did the cookies, the scones, the muffins, and any arugula, all kind of croissants, all kinds of stuff. He did a lot of baking.
So he can bake, huh? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's-
he's doing a little bit of baking for
not
Butternuts. He makes Rice Krispie treats pretty much every day, and the kids,
Wow, I
The
I
big
can
kids
make
love
Rice
'em.
Krispies.
nostalgia.
Okay, I didn't know that those were his Rice Krispie. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah,
They are good, Rice Krispie
they
treat.
are. And he's been making his muffins and his
Yeah.
cookies. Yeah, it's great.
So perhaps people know Jerome from Kingswood High School, right?
Yes,
He,
absolutely.
He worked here for, what, a couple years?
So he
or few
he's
years?
been at Kingswood he's going on to his 5th year at Kingswood High School. And he also was the breakfast chef at the Pickering Inn for a couple of years, too.
Oh,
So
really?
a lot of people, a lot of locals actually go for a staycation. So they got to know him from the Pickering house.
No kidding.
Yeah, so a lot of people in town know Jerome. And, he's so friendly.
Yes, he is.
Yes,
he's
so
very friendly.
Yeah.
You get a little frustrated with the process of putting together loans, but we all get frustrated
That's right.
with that process.
That's right.
Because it's not easy.
No, there's a lot of steps.
I will say this about you, Theresa. If I needed something, you were right on top of it. And I can't emphasize enough that sort of rapid response. Without that, it just makes things so much harder.
Yeah.
And it just drags things on so much longer. Because let's be real, it's not getting a loan is not a process where you walk in the door and walk back out with a loan.
No.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot of moving parts. You guys were already, Jerome was at the high school. Tiana was over at Van Otis. You were with the catering and your other stuff. So you all had stuff going on, and in the interim, we got to have these financials. We got to have this information. We need this information. Have you got this from the state yet? Blah, blah, blah. It's a lot to it.
There was a lot to it.
And I'm sure there were times where you got frustrated as well. Was it worth it?
Absolutely. You know, the hardest part was the anticipation of waiting, for instance, to get the food license. They, on their website it says it takes 14 days, but in reality it's 30 to 45 days. And they literally waited till the 29th day to respond to my emails and phone calls. And the lovely lady who finally did answer me said, "Boy, you're persistent. You've left several messages and emails." And I said, "Well, I like to get things done." She says, "Well, we're very busy." I said, "I understand, but let's get it going." And once I got the communication from the state, things rolled along. But that was the hard part, was that what you see on a website doesn't necessarily match to reality. And so having to wait an extra, 30 days to get a food permit, and without the food permit, you can't really run a business that has food products. And that included the grocery stuff, the cheeses, not just the deli. The easiest part for me was getting a liquor license.
Is that right?
Which was mind-boggling.
You have a liquor license?
So it's not alcohol, but it's wine, mead, and beer and hard seltzers. Right now, we're not carrying the beer and the hard seltzers because I don't have the space.
To serve on site or to
This
sell?
This is to sell.
So you need a license to sell.
Off premises only. Yep. And Sally she has this wonderful wine company, Rossini, and the wines are fabulous. You can't get them at the liquor store. They're very reasonably priced. They're imported from Italy. And then she has a local company. Well, now I have a local company. I still say Sally's company. Sap Meadery, and they do mead. And
I know Sap Meadery.
yeah, so they come in, and we have another gentleman who does like blueberry and strawberry wines.
Oh, so you're doing that? Huh?
Yeah, so you need to have that license in order to sell that stuff.
Interesting. So Sally was not selling that stuff? Or
She was.
She was,
yeah,
but you had to transfer the license?
But in order for me to walk in the door and be able to sell those same products,
yeah,
I had to have that license. And that part was fairly easy.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to be easy, and you never know what's going to be hard.
Nope, you have to anticipate all this.
And you should double the time you think it's going to take.
Exactly.
and then you might come out of the whole thing unscathed. But, one of the biggest, most important things you can have when you're trying to do something like the transfer of ownership, particularly in a legacy business, from one person to a family, and you have partners in banks and WEDCO, and we're partners because. But the most critical thing is you start with a meeting of the minds,
yes,
which means this person and the seller and the buyer both agree they want this to happen.
Yes.
And the partners, like the banks and WEDCO, agree we want this to happen. And as long as you have that sort of meeting of the minds, all the obstacles can be overcome.
Absolutely.
And this was a beautiful case study of the importance of the meeting of the minds, because we did hit
patience, tolerance, and grace. You just have to.
Well, that's another way of saying it, right?
Yeah.
But meeting of the minds, and Sally wanted it to happen, you wanted it to happen, we wanted it to happen, and it did.
And it did.
So.
And when you say partner, I feel like Sally is still our partner because she's helping us, and she's going to make sure that we are able to continue the business, within her framework. You don't change something that works so well.
Yeah, well, you're very fortunate in that you have the seller who A, likes the Tocios, and B, likes the community,
loves
the community, and C, loves her little Butternuts.
Yes.
So, you're going to run it your way, but to have that institutional knowledge willingly share and willingly
priceless.
help.
It's priceless.
It's a bonus. That was a bonus. And,
Big part of it.
But that's the way Sally is, from what I understand, and I got a chance to meet her through this process, and she really has been an exceptional citizen of Wolfeboro over the years. And it's kind of interesting that the resurgence of Hunter's grocery store happened basically at the same time
I
that
know.
this was going down well.
We were very aware of that, and it was kind of cool. And when I'm in the kitchen on the second floor looking out, I see the Hunter side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Wolfeboro has not seen the last of Sally Hunter. She's a community person,
That's
so
right.
she'll be very involved, I'm sure. When you finally finished signing all the papers, did you want to celebrate or did you want to throw up?
Oh, I wanted to celebrate.
You were happy?
Yes.
Weren't you scared to death?
No.
You were not?
No. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been self-employed for so long. It's all I know. I'm turning 60 on Thursday, and I thought to myself, am I savvy or stupid? Savvy 60 or stupid 60? And I'm like, no, I think I'm going to say I'm pretty savvy.
First of all, 60 is the new 40. So
that's right, yeah.
You should be purchasing businesses at 60.
Yes, and, Jerome and I ran a locally operated restaurant in a franchise environment that was very seasonal. So we understand seasonality, we understand local, you take care of your local people, you embrace your community, and Butternuts is a gift to Wolfeboro, and I want to see Wolfeboro stay the beautiful community that it is, and that's part of it, having all these businesses, and my daughter is on the Chamber of Commerce, she's on the board, and she's a big supporter of all the things that we've been talking about, which, this is what we're about too. We know this environment, it's what we do.
Well, I was going to ask you, and you just sort of laid out some of the things that make a business successful. You said, care about the community, be engaged in the community. What other things have you learned along the way that are critical towards making not only a business succeed but thrive?
Well, you have to listen to what your client base is asking for. You have to watch your finances. I tend to like to be a COD basis. That's what we did when we owned our restaurant. And then when the recession hit, it was a struggle, but we stayed alive because we paid all of our, accounts payable within 7 days or less. I think that's huge, running a business. If you make a promise, you got to keep it. And if you make a mistake, own it and apologize. We all make mistakes, but it's very simple to say, I am so sorry. Let me take care of that for you.
Simple, but not easy to say.
It can be easy.
If you allow yourself to be, to own it.
You have to be
first
humble.
You got to own it and say, yep, I own it.
Yep.
Well, that's very, very interesting. I'm really super excited for the Tocio family and for Sally and whatever path she chooses to go down. And mostly, I'm really, really excited for the town of Wolfeboro that Butternuts remains Butternuts in the community. I have no doubt that you guys will introduce new ideas and make it even better than what it was and build upon that. I think the catering is going to be a beautiful match with that. Did Sally ever tell you where the name Butternuts came from?
I don't know. I think they were brainstorming and coming up with, different ideas, and somebody threw that into the mix, but I don't know the true story. That would be something I should probably
I think
find
you should
out.
probably know that.
Yeah.
You
know what's interesting, though, that I can tell you about history? So in the window, there's this cheese guy. And this cheese guy sign came from, I think it was B.G. Hodges out of Tuftonboro, who's no longer a sign maker. And it came from the old Camelot bookstore for the creamed cheddar. that we still carry, that Al Pierce.
You got the cream cheddar?
Al Pierce from Camelot Bookstore does the cream cheddar and the horseradish and the pimento cheddar, and he's
Oh,
in
my
his
goodness.
90s, and he's still doing it. And the counter came from Camelot Bookstore.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
really cool.
That's
history.
cool. That's cool.
But I'm still stuck on the cream cheddar. So that's in the counter up front?
No, that's in the cheese case.
In the
It's
cheese
got to be
case.
refrigerated. It's in the cheese case.
I got to do some research down there at Butternuts.
You haven't heard about the Wolfeboro appetizer?
No?
You take one of our baguettes, and you put the cream cheddar, and then you put the red pepper jelly on top, and there's your supper.
I have so much to learn, and I look forward to the class. Theresa, thanks so much for coming on. We're out of
My
time.
pleasure.
Just so happy this is going on, and
You too.
I stopped in the other day, and it was just a vibrant, happy place, and I hope all you folks out there will make sure you stop by and congratulate Tocios and thank Sally for her many years of building such a beautiful business. That's it for us, guys. Remember Wolfeboro Community TV and your annual giving. And thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jack Terrill, Wentworth Economic Development Corporation, and we'll see you next time.